Alright, ladies and gents, we had a live stream today from Bungie. They talked about the future of Destiny and a load of big changes. So guys, let's just dive straight into this. First up, we're going to break things down in terms of the conversation between Luke and Mark on what they're trying to do with Destiny in terms of its identity. So first up, they mentioned here that they want Destiny to be an action MMO. Now, what they mean by that is an MMO without subscriptions, but more focused going forward on RPG elements and improving the social aspects of the game. Their second point, they want to continue to evolve the world. They normally say that a bunch, but they mention here specifically the comparison between it and the Dreaming City. They want to continue bringing us content that evolves, similar to how the Dreaming City evolved when we unlocked more things and completed the raid. So essentially, they just want to keep building on that formula. The third thing that they mentioned was that Destiny 2 will be coming to Google Stadia. Stadia, guys, is Google's like cloud service for gaming where you can essentially play anywhere if you've got really good internet. I don't really care for it because I don't have good internet, but if you got just balling internet, you'll be able to take advantage of this cloud source gaming. I'm curious to see exactly how it performs, but the big news after they mentioned that was that cross-save will be added this fall to all platforms. PlayStation, PC, Xbox. I know there was a lot of questions going around if it was just going to be between PC and Xbox. No, Luke Smith looked directly at the camera and said it's coming to everything. The fourth point, Shadowkeep will be a standalone, or in Luke's word, an expand-alone that you can experience without purchasing previous expansions. By the way, that expansion is going to be $35. The fifth point that they brought up was that exclusive content will be going away this fall. No more exclusive maps, armor, or weapons going forward in any Destiny game. The sixth point, Destiny 2 on PC will be moving from Blizzard to Steam this fall exclusively. Everything PC players have on their accounts will transfer. They kind of made a joke. Luke literally said, "We'll be needing an Epic partner." I honestly thought they were about to say Epic Games, but no, it's coming to Steam. The seventh point that they mentioned, which is also a huge one, is that a free version of Destiny 2 will be available on Steam this fall called New Light, with all expansions being standalone going forward. So essentially, vanilla Destiny will be free to play, but they did mention that things like Gambit, Crucible, and Strikes will be available for all of these new players to play and partake in, so be looking for those playlists to be rampant with some blueberries. Now, the way New Light works, I thought this was really cool. It actually starts off with the campaign mission from Destiny 1. So you actually start off with your ghost waking you up. And for my D2 only players, I really hope you can experience that mission. I mean, there's nothing really crazy going on, but for OG players, my God, that mission just takes us back, man. But yes, you'll be able to experience that mission for the first time. And like I said, vanilla Destiny, I don't know how much of like the Red War campaign will be available to you. I'm pretty sure it will be also free, but I'm assuming if you want to experience like Curse of Osiris or Warmind or Forsaken, you'll need to purchase those separately. Or in their words, if you just want to skip all of those and go straight into Shadowkeep, you can do that as well. Now, moving on to the Vidoc portion. This is actually a really long Vidoc, and I suggest if you have not watched it to go actually watch the entire thing, because it's really cool. You get to see behind the scenes of like Bungie employees, and a lot of us know these guys. They're excellent people. But let's just talk about some of the things that we saw in the Vidoc. So number one, we saw a brief picture of No Time to Explain. And I'm pretty sure I saw it on the back of a Titan, and I thought it was No Time to Explain, and boom, we see somebody working on it. We also saw Monte Carlo. That's right, Monty's getting some action. Crota is also back. How many times are we going to kill this dude? He's back, and somehow they made him look scarier. Now, Shadowkeep. Let's talk about this expand alone. What are they trying to do here with Shadowkeep? So first up, they're bringing us back to the moon, and they mentioned that the moon is twice as big as the moon was back in Destiny 1. It's changed a lot over the years, and they're trying to go for this horror tone. Everything's going to be a lot scarier, and considering how much Ares is involved with this expansion, I'm sure it will be scary. Hell, every time we're in a room with her, I'm scared. Always. There's also going to be a new mod system and a artifact system returning. So back in Destiny 1, we actually had artifacts. I'm sure most of us remember it based on the Iron Lords and the artifacts that were given there. When Rise of Iron actually dropped, we had one that like stopped sprint lock from happening, which was stupid. We should have never had sprint lock to begin with. We also had a scoring meta where super regeneration would increase when standing next to teammates with their super as well. Now, how these artifacts are going to be brought to us, I have no idea. I actually zoomed in on one, and I think I read something like great or greatly lorums the amount of incoming something when forming with an ipsum. I don't even know. Either way it goes, artifacts are returning, and we're also going to be getting new armor mods. And it looks to be quite a few of them. But even just looking at the armor itself, you can see how many mods we can apply. And it looks like we can apply up to 3 different mods. Obviously, the ones that are grayed out are the ones you can't apply. But having this tier here, you see green mods, blue mods, and purple mods, or I guess legendary mods, makes me wonder if we're gonna get any exotic mods. I don't know. We'll see. Not sure how the modding system's gonna work. Just know this is Bungie's vision in terms of adding more RPG elements to the game. Now, moving on, we're also gonna get finishing moves inside of Shadowkeep. And these are pretty cool. I feel like Bungie's reaching back into their Halo roots with these finishing moves, right? But they have different finishing moves depending on your class. And I'm assuming that this may be part of our class ability in some way, but we're actually able to use it offensively. We'll just have to see. Moving on, we also saw an exotic heavy bow being worked on. This young lady here was actually showing these targets being blown away when firing this bow, and she was actually working on balancing this bow. So whoever this lady is, hey, you can go all in with it. We also saw a trace rifle that opens up a giant crit spot when focused on an enemy. I'm assuming that anything caught within that radius that you see there lighting up will be part of that crit spot, but I feel like this trace rifle could play a really big role, especially against targets that may have a really hard crit spot to hit. We also got to see a new hand cannon that takes special ammo and has a scope on it. So it's pretty much a sniper hand cannon, and it looks sexy. My God. Not really sure how much damage it does. I do know that it was setting everything on fire though, like a sniper sunshot. Now moving on to some PvP stuff. Elimination in some form or fashion is being worked on, and it's going to be added through labs. I'm sure we're going to be able to actually get to play it and experience it. I am curious how they're going to bring back elimination. Is it just going to be raw elimination like it was back in Destiny 1? How the res system's gonna work, it'll be interesting to see. We also got to see some Destiny 1 maps that are making a return. Widow's Court. For all my Widow Court lovers, thank God, we need some long-range maps finally. But yes, it's making a return, and I can't wait. Now, moving on to some PvE stuff. Black Garden is also returning, and we're looking to have a Black Garden raid. Now, I know a lot of people don't like a lot of these returning things, but if there's like one place I would have loved to experience a raid, it would have been the Black freaking Garden, man. To me, that was the creepiest damn place, because I had no idea what the hell was going on. Saw a bunch of Vex worshiping this thing in the sky, and all of a sudden it started possessing things. Seems like a wonderful place to have a raid. Now, the last thing that we saw here in the Vidoc, Summoning Pits is also returning. So for my fans out there that love that place, I'm curious to see how it will perform with this new like hard theme coming with this expansion. Now moving on to the Q&A that Dado did. I gotta say, man, Dado did an excellent job with this Q&A. He asked a few questions here. He asked things like, is Eris evil? We were told that she is not evil. She's just creepy. And she's been through a lot, which would probably make all of us a little creepy. If you don't know who Eris is or her lore, I highly suggest you load up a Byte video and go check it out. Now, we will be getting some new characters or a new character coming this fall. They didn't want to spoil it for us. We might see something in E3, or they might just keep it under wraps until then. Now, they did talk about Sandbox as far as what we can expect in terms of Sandbox updates. Could we see more frequency in Sandbox tuning? Which I'll say that I feel like Bungie does tune things faster than just one season, because I see minor changes happening throughout the season, but the major ones are the ones that pull a lot more focus. And they didn't mention that major Sandbox changes like those will probably only be once every season. And they've got a good argument. They said that when they go to balance things, they can't just balance something for that one activity. They got to balance it inside of Gambit. They got to balance it inside of PvE and PvP. They got to make sure that whatever it is that they're touching is going to be balanced correctly throughout all activities. Now, Dado did ask, is the annual pass in Forsaken getting a price drop? They said starting today, Forsaken the annual pass and all the previous DLCs will be $40 bundled together. So for those that are looking to pull the trigger on those expansions, there it is. Save you some money. Now, Dado did hit him pretty hard about neglecting PvP, and the question finally rolled around to Trials. Luke Smith was asked directly if Trials was going to be coming back. The answer was not yet. Essentially, guys, what I got from the conversation between Luke and Dado is that we're going to actually be seeing all of these Crucible changes probably throughout the summer. We're going to get elimination with labs and actually get to test it out. And so for Season 8, which will be this fall, fixing PvP will probably be their main goal. Just making sure things are balanced to add Trials back in. Now, I don't necessarily think Crucible is in a terrible state. There's some funky stuff, but I kind of feel like we've just been rolling with it. But obviously, they don't want to introduce Trials just yet. And so I think for the rest of this summer, we could be looking at some more Sandbox changes directly related to PvP and maybe see Trials in Season 9, which will be in December. So guys, that is pretty much it for today's video. I really like where Bungie is going with things, and it seems like they've pulled everyone off to focus up and double down on Destiny 2. There was a question about Destiny 3. Dano did actually ask, do you want to make Destiny 3 or will you just keep stacking expansions? Luke's answer was that they've recommitted the team to Destiny 2, which is great in my opinion. At this point, I could see a Destiny 3 release being not this September, but the next, or even past that point, because everything you saw that was mentioned in today's video are really, really big moves. These are not moves to be made for a game that we're only going to play for the next year, because everything that was said today just shouts long-term for me. So guys, if I missed anything, feel free to comment below. I'll definitely heart your comment. I try to catch every little thing and write it down as fast as I could. Thank you all for coming and watching today's video, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.